Hello, my name is Doris and I am Little Bird Products. What I wanted to share with you today was a day's worth, actually almost 3 days worth of frustration for me with this little top here from a sheet. And I am super disappointed. I don't know if you've ever had projects where they just didn't work out the way you wanted them to. I'm really bummed about it. Here's a better look of it. This is a pattern called I hope I pronounce it right, Yara Side Gathered Top. These are the side gathers and this is the top. And I made it out of a sheet because I always do my first off or my toiles out of a sheet so I don't cry too much when they don't work out. And this is from Tiana's Closet, which I looked for videos of them, somebody that had made this top, and I couldn't find one. I found several for other patterns that she has, but I bought this one off of Etsy, and I had such high hopes because I liked the way the gathering was under the arms, and I'll put a picture of what it's supposed to look like on here. Well, I should have known that I was going to have problems first off because I looked at the measurements. And I seldom do that, so thank goodness I did this time. And I usually use myself, I'm like an extra large or a 2X, depending on the patterns. And in cotton, it's usually a 2X. To see, okay, what size should I make this? And according to the measurements, it looked like I would fit in a 5X. And I'm sorry, I'm a little roly-poly, chunky, but I'm not a 5X. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with 5Xs, because I do make some clothing that fit ladies that are that statuesque. However, I did cut it out as a 5X. I like to use the largest one because I know it's always easier to cut it down than it is to add more fabric to it. So what I did is I tried to follow the pattern steps. I did have a couple of days where I kind of threw it in the UFO pile. That's unfinished objects. And I knew I really wanted to make this, and the reason was because it has a flat straight piece in the front and it has a flat straight piece in the back. Well, it isn't quite flat. It is flat, but it's kind of like an upside down T, because these side pieces, it comes out a bit. The bottom is like this on the bottom, right? So here's the center and then here's the side. So there's one front pattern piece and there's a back pattern piece, and then there's sleeves, you know. And I thought, oh, it has sleeves. That would be nice because ladies like sleeves, even in the summertime. And these look nice. They were kind of flared angel sleeves. So I had the pattern pieces all cut out. And when I started looking about how to do the side gathers, it had you measure something that was on the sleeves, 2 dots. And then I had to go look and see where the 2 dots were, and I marked them. So I did just like it said, and it said to measure, you know, between the 2 dots, and then you gathered it to that side on the front, 2 front sides underneath the arms, and gathered on the back. Of course, do I put it on the mannequin before I sew it together? No, I just think, oh, it's a 5X, it's gonna fit. Dumb. Second mistake. So I sewed it together. Then I thought, oh, this is gonna look so cute with the gathers under the arms and the little sleeves, because I did throw it in the pile of UFOs for a little bit till I figured out what they were saying about the gathers. Well, at least I thought I did. Then I tried to put it on my mannequin. Well, my mannequin is just about my size. You know, she's just a little larger in places and a little smaller in a couple others, but I know what those are. Well, I knew I was gonna have a problem when I couldn't get it over their tops. And she's just a little chestier than I am, but not that much. So I was very frustrated. So I got my friend Jack out, you know, Jack the seam ripper. And I don't like to seam rip things, but you know, it's just a cotton sheet. That's why I tried to tell myself, even though it's a really cute cotton sheet and I was thinking it'd be a wearable toile, I did take all of the gathers out, sort of, kind of, almost all of them. And I tried to open them up a little bit and then to where I thought they would still be gathered and it would fit under the arms. So that's what this looks like. Let's see. And then I sewed it back together again. Of course, did I put it on the mannequin? Well, I knew it fit over her boobs, so I got it on there. So now I'm super disappointed, but I still kind of like the way it looks. So I thought, well, I'll throw it in the UFO pile, sleep on it for a little bit. So I proceeded to go about cutting out a couple of other things. I have a couple of men's shirt projects that are real cute, and I got those ready, prepped to sew. And then I've been thinking about making another hooded robe because I do have a pattern for that where it's only 2 sleeve pieces, 2 front pieces, 1 back piece. So, and I've made it before. So there's some security and comfort in something that you've made before. But I'm telling myself I'm not going to keep adding to my UFO pile. So I pulled this out again because I really want to make this out of t-shirt material because I have some really neat graphic shirts where this, my thought in my little mind before I started sewing this, was that I would have the front piece be the graphic shirt, the back piece be the graphic shirt, and then for those wings on the side, the bottom end of the T, right, when the T is like this, that I could just use other t-shirt pieces that match because they're just big rectangles. And then the sleeves, of course, I could find some t-shirt material or some other material that's cute that kind of goes with things and colors to make these sleeves. So, and it would have cute gathers under the arms. Now the nice thing is that t-shirts are a little stretchy, but I know if I can make it in a cotton and have it fit me and it looks cute, for sure I can make it in that t-shirt material because it's more forgiving. Well, I don't like to leave anything unfinished, so I pulled this back out and I decided today Jack is going to be my friend and I'm going to undo those bottom sides. I'm going to take all of the gathering out. I'm going to regather it and I'm going to make it the way I thought I should be making it anyway. Where what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew up those side seams because what they have you doing in the pattern is to gather those little pieces on the back and gather the pieces on the front. And then they have you putting the sleeves in according to those markings, which are kind of crazy in my mind. Maybe I'm doing something else wrong, it could be. And then they have you sew up the side seam all the way up and up the arm. So I decided what I'm going to do is gather the sides, sew that side seam up, put it on my mannequin, make sure that it fits with the gathers because it needs to. And then I'm going to put the sleeve on and decide how to attach it to make it look the best. So I think that I can do that. And what I really would like to do is, in my back of my mind, I'm thinking instead of gathering and stitching that, maybe what I'll do is I'll put a channel in there and put some elastic in it so that it gathers itself. It's self-gathering depending on whether you're smaller than me, bigger than me, or my size, so that you can kind of self-gather it like that. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I could put little ties on either side and you could just gather it by pulling those ties. So bottom line is I need to take it apart. So Jack and I are going to come together and we're going to do that this afternoon. So then I'm going to try to finish my toile and see how I like it. And if I like it and it's going to fulfill my dream of a shirt to be able to upcycle my 50 plus graphic t-shirts that I have, then I'll start with one of my graphic t-shirts that maybe I'm not so much in love with but would suit me, and do a toile, a wearable toile for me out of the t-shirt material. So that's kind of how my days go. Now, if I get frustrated and I feel like I need to get Jack out again when I get to the t-shirt material, then I'm going to divert. And the project for this week will be to finish my 2 upcycled men's shirts and make that hooded robe. And that will be Sunday's video. So, wish me luck. Go and look at this pattern in Tiana's Closet, either on Etsy or she has a website, and I'll put the link to that in this video. And tell me what you think. And if you've made it before and you figured out that rough gathering thing with the sleeves and the sizing thing with the pattern, please, by all means, in the comments, tell me what I'm missing about this so that I can get this done and out of the dreaded UFO pile. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to comments from anyone that has made this Shara Gathered top, or if you have a suggestion for another pattern for those graphic tees that you like, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.